Witches' runes are one of those things in witchcraft that are really great for beginners because they're a super simple system that is really easy to learn and you can pick up on quite quickly. I have been working with the witches' runes for a little while now, playing around with them, learning about them, reading them, and I really love the whole system as a form of divination. It's it's different. It's different from the tarot, and so it's quite refreshing to use something a little different sometimes. You know, even as someone like myself who loves tarot, sometimes it's really nice to mix it up and do something a little different. So let's learn about the witches' runes today. First things first, what are the witches' runes? The witches' runes are a modern set of magical symbols that are used as an oracle in divination practices. And there are, as far as I know, 3 different variations or sets of the witches' runes. I've seen them in 8, 10, and 13. But 13 seems to be the most commonly used form. And I think a big part of that is because of the numerological significance of the number 13. The number 13 is such a magical number. It's so connected to the cycles of nature, to the moon, Friday the 13th, the lucky day, Freya's day. You know, there is just so much when it comes to the number 13. And so that's why I like to read the set of 13. And I reckon that that's why a lot of other practitioners like to read the set of 13. When it comes to the origins of the witches' runes, based on all of my research, I can conclude that all we really know is that these runes were created sometime in the late 19th, early 20th century by practitioners. I was unable to find anything that pinpoints any sort of solid source or information of their origin in any specific time period or culture or practice or whatever. The only thing I can find is that they originated sometime in the late 19th, early 20th century by practitioners and evolved into the modern folk magic divination system we see today. Now, some people say that these runes were derived from an alphabet that was created specifically for witches. I was unable to find any actual evidence of this, so I am unable to speak to the fact of whether that is true or not. We really do not know. There's very little known about the history and the origins of these witches' runes, just that they are a modern creation. They are not ancient. And unlike other runic systems that are ancient, like the Elder Futhark or the Oham, these runes are not an alphabet and they are not a script. They are just a set of pictograms or symbols that portray and represent particular concepts and ideas. And from what I can tell, there is sort of a common order that practitioners like to put this rune row in, the way that they like to organize them. But there is no real standard. It doesn't really seem like there's a set standard order for these runes, especially where they're not an alphabet or a script like other ancient runic rows. So what I'm going to be showing you today, the order that I'm going to show these to you in, is an order that I just personally put them in that makes sense to my mind. I kind of group them together based on how similar of a category I feel they all fall into. So you can really order these runes however you want to. It's not really very strict because these are such a modern creation. There's a lot of room for play here. Now let's dive into the meaning of each of the runes in the set of 13. The sun rune is representative of all things solar magic as well as the god figure. The sun rune is all about illumination, warmth, joy, positivity, good health, your own inner light. You know, the sun is life. The sun is vitality. It it gives life to everything here on this earth, and without it, there would be no life. The moon rune represents all things lunar magic and the goddess figure. The moon rune is all about natural cycles, change and transition, but also about secrets and shadows and the subconscious, things that lie just beneath the surface, the subtleties and emotions of life. Next up, we have the star rune. The star rune represents guidance, wishes, inspiration, aspirations, purpose, and hope. Next up, we have the flight rune. The flight rune is all about travel, air, birds, communication, swiftness, unexpected news, and messages from beyond. Woman. The woman rune represents all things divine feminine. It represents creativity, nurturing, healing, birth, motherhood, and the womb. Man. The man rune represents all things divine masculine. It represents action, virility, providing, direction, resources, and fatherhood. Rings. The rings rune represents bonding, alliances, partnerships, marriage, teams and family, contracts and long-term unions, as well as connections, networks, and combining different things together. Trinity. The Trinity rune represents love, romance, relationships, passion, pleasure, attraction, and also triple forms of being, so triple deities, as well as life, death, and rebirth cycles, anything that comes in threes. Crossroads. The Crossroads rune represents pivotal moments, decisions, options, obstacles, challenges, confusion, enemies, and stagnation. Harvest. The Harvest rune represents rewards, reaping, blessings, abundance, wealth, fruition, and achievement. Scythe. The Scythe rune represents endings, death, loss, danger, caution, completion, pain, cutting ties, and letting go. Eye. The Eye rune represents vision, awareness, realization, clarity, protection from the evil eye or the evil eye itself, and focus and clairvoyance. So now that we know what the witches' runes mean, let's explore how to read them. I'll be showing you 3 methods for reading your runes, and first up will be the single rune draw. The single rune draw is very simple and straightforward. This method involves mixing up your runes in their bag or in your hands and drawing a single rune for your question or your reading. And you can continue to draw a single rune for clarification, often drawing 1 rune per question or line of subject or idea. The next method is rune casting. This method involves mixing up your runes and then dumping them all out in front of you. And this can be done to answer a single question or just to get a general reading of the energy. Casting the runes like this is a bit more complex than a single rune draw, in the sense that you'll be interpreting how all of the runes have landed, the relationships that they're making with each other and with you. And generally, runes that fall face down are to be ignored, so you're going to ignore those ones. And the runes that fall face up are the ones where your message lies. And so if some of the runes land closer to you, they may hold a bit more significance or quicker timing. And if they fall further away from you, they may hold a little bit of a lesser significance and a little bit of a longer timing. And as I said, you will also want to pay attention to the relationships that the runes are making with each other. You know, which ones are far apart, which ones are closer together, and how they're facing each other, because this is going to allow you to read how those energies are interacting with each other. And that's how you're really going to get the most accurate reading with your runes. You really have to take a look and see how the the runes are playing out as a whole. And the last method is rune spreads. And so this method involves creating a spread where you will draw your runes. This is really similar to tarot spreads. So spreads like this are where you create an arrangement of positions and you will draw one rune per position in your spread. And generally each position will represent a particular question or line of subject or idea. And you can create your own spreads, or you can find spreads in books or online. And you can use tarot spreads for this. You don't have to look up specific witches rune spreads. Tarot spreads will work for this as well. So those are 3 very common methods for reading your runes. Now you know how to read the runes. But also you can use the witch's runes in spell work and rituals to work with the particular energies that the runes represent. So this can take a lot of different forms. It can look like carving the rune into a spell candle, drawing them on petitions, drawing or painting them in art pieces, using them as protective wards, placing them on your altar, offering them to your spirits or your deities, sleeping with them under your pillow, and meditating with them, just to name a few. And it's also important that you bond with your witches runes so that they are more deeply connected and linked to your energy so that you can get really specific and accurate readings per you and your situations. And the creative process of making your own set of runes is a really great way to bond with them in and of itself. Whether you're painting them on seashells or wood slices or stones or however else you want to create them. Creating your own set is a very great way to bond with the runes and bring them to life. However, if you did purchase a set of runes, you absolutely can still bond with them and imbue your own energy into them and connect with them. You can do this by meditating with them, sleeping with them under your pillow, holding them in your hands and just playing with them. And you can also charge them on crystal grids or on your altar, and even just the repeated practice of consistently using your runes will help you bond with them as well. I have also created a free printable grimoire page containing the meanings of the witch's runes. It's completely free, so if you want to grab that, I'll link it in the description. And that's all on the witch's runes. If you liked this video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe so that helps me keep making content like this. And if you have any questions or if there's anything that you'd like to see me make videos on, drop a comment below. See you in the next one.